Craig Burley is with us, as is Stewart Robson and Julian Laurent, as we start in one of the best Champions League games we've seen for a long time. What a match this was. Remember, 2-1 to Porto going into the second leg in Turin. Oliveira then scores for Porto early on from the penalty spot to make it 1-0. Juventus, though, get themselves back into it in the second half. Chiesa scores. Then Taremi for Porto is sent off. Second bookable offence, stupidly kicking ball away. Chiesa then would make it 2-1. That was only in the 63rd minute, so you thought inevitably Juventus would get that all-important third goal. They didn't. It goes to extra time. And then Oliveira, with a free kick with 5 minutes to go in the extra time period, would make it 2-2. Then, though, Rabiot scores. However, Juventus couldn't find that fourth goal, meaning that Porto go through on the away goal rule. I think that just about sums it all up, Ali. But this is one of those matches you're just on the edge of your seat so much because it could have gone either way for such a long time.
And so many storylines, so many different things to look at. How incredibly dumb and stupid was the red card from Taremi in what had been, up until that point, relatively comfortable for Porto. Yes, Chiesa had just scored, but you thought, you know what, Porto have been good. Pepe, he's 1,000 years old, but he looked world-class.
38, Ali.
And every time the ball came into the box, he's clearing the ball, and you're thinking, all right, Porto are going to do this. But then the red card happens, and it just changed the dynamic of the game. What didn't change was the lack of involvement by Cristiano Ronaldo, who had a very, very quiet match. And we only saw Cristiano Ronaldo when he was turning his back to the ball and the goal by Oliveira and the free kick. This game had absolutely everything, and it's unexpected because Juventus is not the sort of team that gives you everything. And you would have thought, Porto, you know what? We're just going to see it out. We're comfortable. We're good. The red card changed it. The game changed. It was crazy. But in the end, I think Porto did what they got what they deserved, because the work that they put in defensively was outstanding.
It really was quite something, wasn't it, Craig?
Yeah, and listen, Pepe could have been 48 and played in that first half. It was unbelievable. I mean, I think that kind of sums Juve's season up so far in a nutshell. They had no energy, they had no guile, they had no invention in the side, they had no drive, they had no pace. And yeah, at times Porto had 5 and 6 behind the ball and looked to go on the break. But they really, I mean, apart from the early header from Morata, it was a great ball from Cuadrado. He should have scored, and then he had a chance at the back post. It was super comfortable for Porto, and then it became the Chiesa show for a little while. And then, as Ali mentioned, the Taremi sending off was stupid, and that meant it was only going to be really one-way traffic from then on. But this is a Juventus side that I think doesn't inspire. And to Ali's point, Ronaldo was he was an onlooker. He was an onlooker. I mean, he had a couple of little moments, but even when Porto had the 10 men, he did little. And quite frankly, how you could go in that dressing room after the game if you'd been part of that wall and say, I did my job, is unbelievable. All 3 or 4 of them turned their back. And you don't deserve to go through. If that's a scenario, you played with an extra man, you're at home, you are the favourites, it was there for you to do it, Dan, and they couldn't get it done.
Craig, how do you explain the wall acting like that?
Well, listen, if I've seen it happen, and I'm not saying I'm not adverse to trying to turn my back a little bit myself if I see somebody running up, because it's a natural instinct sometimes. But however, to have all of them shape themselves the way they did, you can only say it's cowardly, because nobody wanted to take or was prepared to take an Oliveira, who's a great striker of the ball. Nobody was prepared, if it came slightly higher, to take one for the team. They all shared the responsibility, and that's what left Szczesny stranded, and hence Juventus are now out of this competition, and deservedly so.
And anyone who saw the first leg, Robbo, will not be surprised by the eventual outcome. But I think what would be frustrating if you're a supporter of Juve, if you include the first leg and the first half, it took you 3/4 of this tie over 2 legs to really start getting going.
Well, right from the very first minute of the game, it was obvious where the danger was lying for Juventus. It was the crossfield ball to Cuadrado, who then bent a ball in. Morata gets in behind quite a high line, which Porto were trying to play a high line. They were playing 4-4-2, and there was a lot of space in behind them. They could get, when Bonucci got on the ball, he hit big diagonals out to Chiesa, and he might have got in behind them as well. And it was obvious to me that that's what they had to keep doing and keep getting crosses into the box, but whipped in behind. But they turned away from that because Arta's too slow on the ball. Rabiot was too slow on the ball. Ramsey, I'm not sure what he was given the team. Ronaldo went away from the danger area and went somewhere else out wide at times and wanted to come deep. And he's done that on many occasions when they haven't been playing well. So I thought Pirlo didn't really get to grips with the game early enough. And that was the problem, because it was obvious to me, just looking at the game, they could easily break down Porto. If they kept on getting to Cuadrado, he could whip balls in behind him and do the same on the other side with Chiesa. And they were too slow when they were being counter-attacked. Porto's first half performance on the counter-attack, I thought, was brilliant.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.